Hello, everybody, and welcome to Making It, brought to you by the Mahaska County Extension Office. Now, if you've never seen this show before, you're in for a treat. Making It is a show that is focused around crafts and basically giving individuals and contestants raw materials and giving them a challenge to follow. We were so inspired by the idea of the show that we decided to do it for some of our summer fun camps. And wait until you see what some of our campers come up with. It's pretty incredible. For this first challenge, campers are working together in groups and are doing a take on a more common activity. Activity is called Build a Better Bridge. An activity that's oftentimes done with marshmallows and toothpicks, we've decided to supersize by introducing things such as pool noodles, cardboard, and tin cans. Campers were given 45 minutes to be able to construct these ideas, and the results are pretty spectacular.
Jumping from their seats, camper groups grabbed the supplies and materials they needed and scattered about the room, each taking their own direction on how they wanted to build a little bit of a better bridge. Some took more of a functional approach while others took a creative aspect. Allow them to explain what their thoughts were.
I thought of the idea of making multiple layers to keep it strong because I saw it on Lego Masters and multiple other building shows.
We were thinking we would layer it up to make it more sturdy, cardboard, popsicle sticks, the tops of the tin cans, and then more cardboard.
We did the cardboard underneath because it gave it more stability just to hold stuff. And then we did how many layers did we do on top of the pool noodles?
We did one layer of pool noodles, probably 5 or 6 of cardboard.
All of that forethought was put to the test as campers' bridges were subject to different weights being stacked on top of them. The most weight being stacked on any of the bridges was 100 pounds, and the bridge still stood. Here are the results after the first round of competition. Campers were graded on creativity, functionality, and cooperation. There were 2 judges, and each judge was given 1 vote. The group of Megan and Georgia were given a vote in creativity, cooperation, and 2 votes in functionality. Xander and Cora were given a vote in cooperation, and Haley, James, and Bree were given a vote in creativity.
This next challenge, our first solo challenge, is called Who's Hungry? Campers are given things such as felt and Play-Doh and are given about 45 minutes to be able to put together their favorite food.
Almost immediately, campers got to work grabbing materials from the supply table and tearing apart the clay they had available, all each taking their own direction on how they wanted to create their favorite food. Some chose to use the Cricut, which is available in our Maker Lab and was run by our CYC Amy. Others chose to take care and get creative in their own ways, whether it was putting together 3-dimensional items or even 2D. Let's take a look now as to what they created and why.
Mac and cheese with spaghetti sauce, but it was going to be mac and cheese at first, big elbows with meatballs and cheese on top. This is a yellow cake with stuff that keeps falling off. It's got frosting in between. These are potato chips. They look real enough to eat. This was going to be a wafer. It's a chocolate bar. I couldn't find any brown. This is a bowl of blueberries, strawberries, and cherries.
I made a mini lasagna that is actually layered, a little taco with meat, cheese, and lettuce, a tiny little, I don't remember what this is called, but it's a piece of cheese, and then some spaghetti.
A hamburger. I just wanted to get the things that I liked on my hamburger on the hamburger. I made ramen noodles with a pair of chopsticks.
I created hot buffalo wings, honestly with some lettuce.
I made an anime scene of a picnic, and I tried to make it kind of cartoony. And so I have some grapes, a strawberry, which is really oversized, but a carrot, some PB&J sandwiches, and a smoothie. I have a tropical fruit ice cream with some cookies and chocolate syrup.
Campers were judged in 3 different categories for this solo challenge: group food item, individual food item, and food theme. Here are the results.
Day 2 of camp brings the campers back together again to pair up and take on a very common thing found around homes, the birdhouse. This activity is called Tweet Tweet, and campers are encouraged to not only create a very creative birdhouse, but also one that's green. Instead of using the traditional screws and wood, campers are encouraged to use cardboard and glue in order to construct what they think is the most ideal birdhouse that they can think of.
Feeling comfortable with the situation at hand, the campers grabbed all the materials they needed and really set to work. They made very quick work of this activity, and it wasn't long before we were given quite a few unique birdhouses.
We did 2 sides that are like a pyramid, and then we did it flat like that.
And thanks to all of that, it looks like a block of cheese.
Popsicle sticks here and on the front. I think that really makes it look more like a birdhouse.
I think for the top of the sticks, I feel like that will give it more protection.
We have a double deck boathouse, so multiple boats can fit in it.
And she came up with the idea of making it a 2-story, and then I added on that we should make it a hotel.
The campers' birdhouses were all graded on 3 different categories. Once again, functionality, cooperation, and creativity. Here are the results after the second solo round.
And last but certainly not least, campers are going to be putting their wits to the test with our final challenge. This challenge is called Birthday Party, and campers will be working individually for 45 minutes to construct something that will be ideal for any 4-year-old's birthday party.
The campers began with a bit of a slow start as the realization that they had unlimited materials more or less really sat in. Soon, ideas and concepts began to form as campers molded and glued and formed different materials into things that would eventually become forts and toys and puzzles even. Each and every single one of them took time and labor to make sure that they put together the best material that they possibly could, as they knew that this was going to be their final showing for the judges to show how well and how creative they really were. The results were absolutely incredible, and we'll let them explain their brainchilds.
You turn it for us?
Yeah, I call him Golden Backpack Buddy.
I created a little robot toy that can be taken apart but put back together, and it had a little bow.
I created a fort with some games on it. Well, I really liked the safety part of it, because when you have the toss the ring game and there's some sharp areas you want your kid to hit your head, even if it's just wood. So I put some foam on that to make it more safe. I made a fort with a crown and a shield sewed, and it could also be taken down and put away.
I created a puzzle that can flip upside down and has texture. One of my favorite things to do when I was growing up was put together puzzles, and Amy said that 4-year-olds like textures, so I just put them together.
I made a chair out of pool noodles. I really want to try it out in our pool because it's made out of pool noodles. I want to see if it floats, see if you can sit on it.
I created something like a seat, but you're sitting on the ground, so it's really for the birthday girl or boy, so they can have their special own seat.
Given the quality presented and the fact that it was the last activity of the camp, the judges decided to introduce 4 categories instead of 3, all of which were focused around the idea of a 4-year-old and their parents. Those were functionality, durability, eye appeal, and safety. Here are the results.
I want to thank you all so much for watching and for supporting our campers throughout these past couple of days of these activities. Hopefully you've seen how well and how creative that they really are, and that you've maybe taken away some of your own ideas of everything. Thank you for supporting 4-H and the Mahaska County Extension Office, and we'll see you soon.